All right. Hey guys, this is Janice over here in Pennsylvania. I'm the hiring and training manager here, and tonight we are going to be talking about senior life and what we do. But this is just going to be a short and sweet call, guys. So this is just to give you a brief overview of what senior life is, who we are, and also answer some questions at the end. But then there's going to be another training call tomorrow at 1 o'clock just to get into a little bit more details because we won't have much time tonight. So first off, this is Senior Life. This is a final expense company. We are just here to get your funeral arrangements taken care of. That's all we do. That's what we specialize in. You're not going to give a whole bunch of quotes for a whole bunch of other agencies. We just go in and get their funeral arrangements taken care of. And the way we do that is by partnering with a company called Legacy. So we not just help them get their money because we're final expense, we give them that money within 24 hours because we don't need a death certificate, but we also partner with a company called Legacy to get them their casket, their vault, their headstone, their urn, everything taken care of ahead of time. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to run down the checklist here that we actually have prepared tonight to go over what we do. So like I said, we're final expense. We partner with Legacy. We lock in rates for the casket, the vault, the headstone, and the urn. That way everything is paid for ahead of time. We also negotiate the cost. So that way it stays very low. The average cost of a funeral is between $10,000 to $15,000. We negotiate that down to be between $4,000 and $6,000. That way, if a client already has some life insurance on the side, which is great, I recommend they do. That way, that money can actually stay with the family and doesn't have to be used for their funeral arrangements. Okay. So, what I really wanted to talk about today was the importance of our company. Why are we different from everybody else? We are different just because one of the things that we specialize in is getting our agents leads. So coming from different agencies, leads can be kind of scary just because maybe you've worked with other agencies where they give you free leads, but those leads have been worked a billion other times, recycled with a whole bunch of agents, and you call those clients and they hang up on you or curse you out because they've got calls from a billion other people. These leads are fresh leads, meaning nobody has ever worked these leads before. So that way, when you're getting these leads from the company, everybody that you talk to have not been barded a billion times. So why are leads important to begin with? Leads are important because it has to do with your inventory. When you own a business, you need to have people to see, right? So if you own a McDonald's, you need to have burgers, you need to have products to sell. This is the same situation. This is your business. You need to have an inventory of people to go see on a daily basis. That way you can make money, right? So it helps you take control and time over your schedule as well. So when you first get started coming from a regular 9-to-5 job, I would recommend basically just switching over your hours because that way you already have a routine, you already have a schedule going to work every day. Why not put that same time and effort into your own business? That way you're building your own dream instead of somebody else's dream. Okay. So what we recommend doing is getting leads, and that way you have an inventory of people to go see. And then on Saturdays, you book your appointments for the following week. That way you have control over the time and the schedule that you want to work. So the clients are seeing when you're coming, they're seeing you calling on Saturday, you set the appointment for the following week. That way they can set a time in their schedule to make sure they sit down with you either in person or on the phone. And that way you can also set your own schedule saying, okay, well, I have to take Wednesday off because I got to take my daughter to the doctor. Great. Go ahead and schedule around that. That way you don't have to work Wednesday if you don't want to. So this is your business. We're not here to be your bosses. If you want to take the day off, there's nobody over your head telling you can't. So this is just something that we want to help you build a business to where you have control over your time and your schedule, but also have control over your money as well, because the leads help you get money. So one of the things that leads provide you is you don't have to pay for advertising. You don't have to pay for costs out of pocket. I came from a real estate background where I was my business and I had to advertise, put up billboards and do advertising to get people to know who I am so they can contact me, and I have people to go see. Over here, it's not like that. You don't have to go out and put a bunch of ads on Facebook or hand your business cards out. You can if you want to. If you want to get your name out there, that's great. But again, you don't have to. Senior Life does all that for you. So they do all the advertising for you, the TV campaign, the direct mail campaign, the Facebook campaign, their website. All this different sources to where they already do everything for you. All you have to do is call up the people that are wanting this information. So these clients are literally giving them all their personal information, their name, their address, their phone number, their birthday, or their age, because they're seeing this advertisement and they're like, oh my gosh, that's a really great product. I want more information about that. Contact me. So us as the agents are buying that information from Senior Life. So that's how we get those leads. We do have to buy them. So that first starting out, that was kind of intimidating for me when I first got started, because here at Senior Life, we recommend you getting around 20 leads a week. 20 leads a week is around $500, because the leads are between $25 to $35. Now, $500 to me, that was very intimidating, because that's an average paycheck, right? That's a lot of money. We don't want you to be intimidated by that, because what Senior Life does is they actually finance those leads for you to make it not so intimidating. So that way you actually can order the leads, go out and see the people, and they give you 10 days to work those leads for free. That way you can make as much money as you possibly can within that 10 days and not be charged. And then after the 10 days hits, they don't actually pull it out of your personal bank account either. You don't have to worry about putting money in your pocket, in your bank account, to make sure you cover that cost. They finance the leads for you. So what that means is after that 10 days hits, they're going to pull it out of your commission. So after you make a next sale, it comes out of that commission, so it doesn't come out of your pocket. Okay. So this way you can just make a sale, it comes out of your commission. But again, it only takes a couple of sales to pay back that lead debt. Like I said, I buy around 20 leads a week, which is around $500. $500 literally gets paid back within a sale or two. And that way I still have the rest of my leads to go and contact, and I make money that way. So, but even with lead cost, it doesn't matter in the sense, because it gets paid back in a couple of sales. But the way we help you get that lead cost down even faster is by telling you many different ways to make a sale. So I'll get that into a little bit later, but I also wanted to show you what kind of leads Senior Life provides. So we have many different kinds of leads here with Senior Life. They have direct mail, they have TV, they have Facebook, they have the website, they have multi-source leads. Multi-source leads are the leads that nobody else can cover them, because here at Senior Life, we approve everybody, whether they're on cancer, they're on dialysis, they have HIV or AIDS, or they are in a nursing home, or even in jail or incarcerated. We want to approve everybody. So that way, no matter what the health situation is coming from other clients that you're with, you don't have to worry about that. And when they tell you, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get approved for this, I've been denied so many times, you can tell them that's not a problem with us. We can still help you out, because that way they can rest easy knowing that their funeral arrangements are taken care of and they don't have to worry about being denied. So whatever lead source you want to pick out, that's up to you. But for me personally, I work direct mail, Facebook, and TV. So if you're doing telesales, I'd recommend you getting some TV leads, because the TV leads show you what time and what day the person called in. So that way you can relay that information to the person over the phone. If you're working in the field, I recommend getting direct mail leads, just because that's what I personally work as well. And you can actually physically show them the lead that they filled out with their own handwriting and say, oh, is this your handwriting? You filled out this information. Obviously, you're wanting something that has to do with getting your final arrangements taken care of. Okay, that's great. Let's get into that and we can help you out with that. So it's just showing them that they actually made another step, another effort to want this information. So those are the leads that I recommend. But again, you can buy any of them. One other thing that we also give you here is Leads the Way. Nobody else has that. Leads the Way is an actual app that Senior Life created, to where when a client calls in, sees the customer service number on a TV ad, or clicks on anything that has Senior Life and they're calling in, you can actually receive live transfer calls, meaning when the client is calling in that customer service number, that pops up onto your phone under the Leads the Way app, and you can instantly buy that lead. Now, though those leads are not financed, but you can buy those yourself and pay the $35, $25, whatever it is, buy that coming out of your personal checking account. But again, that's a very high ratio of you're actually going to make a sale. The close percentage is very, very high on those leads, because the client is literally calling in right there on the spot. You're picking up the phone and saying, hey, this is Janice with Senior Life. How may I help you? And that way you're getting that sale because of that person literally calling in. So again, the Leads the Way app is going to be your best friend, especially if you're doing telesales, because you can buy those leads instantly. And you're not getting one thing I always get a question about is the fact that when you do the Leads the Way app, are you getting a call from the client right when you pick up the phone, so you really have no information? No. Senior Life has a home office. So they monitor everything for you. So when the client calls into the customer service, they pick up that line instantly, have that client on the phone for you, and whoever buys that leads, that's who they transfer to. So you're not going to pick up the phone and just get no information up front. You're actually going to get a person from the home office telling you, this is the name, this is the information about them, this is what they're wanting information about. That way you can actually pick up the phone and know what to do when you're picking up the phone. So you're not just getting a blind phone call. Okay. So now, like I was telling you, when it comes to leads, there's many ways to make a sale when it comes to the one lead. So yes, you're going to buy the lead for $25 to $35, but there's many other ways to make a sale when it comes to that lead. So the way we teach you here is by working that lead many different ways. So what I mean by that is not just helping the client out that you bought that lead for. So you're going in and seeing a client in their home or talking to them on the phone, but while you're in the home talking about their funeral arrangements, you're there building rapport and asking them about their funeral and getting this stuff done. But obviously they're not getting their funeral done for themselves. They're literally getting everything picked out for the beneficiary, their son or their daughter or their grandchild or whoever it is taking care of their funeral arrangements. They're getting all that done and prepared for them. So me as their agent, I want to personally sit down with that beneficiary as well. So that's one thing I really stress over when it comes to servicing your client. You want to service them the best way possible. And the best way possible is by talking to the whole family. So that's one thing I always make sure I ask when I'm in the home or on the phone is say, hey, I'm your state representative here. I want to help you get your funeral arrangements taken care of. But one thing I also do is I sit down with the beneficiary. I sit down with your son or your daughter and go over this information with them to let them know what you have set up and help them have that peace of mind knowing what to do. So if you could do me a favor and just give them a heads up for me, that way they know that I'm giving them a call, and that way I can sit down with them personally or talk to them on the phone about it. So that way they have that peace of mind knowing that their son or their daughter also knows what to do. Yeah, they're getting everything set up, but most of the time, once they get their policy, they just throw it in a drawer, put it in their lockbox. It's okay, here it is. But now the family doesn't really know what to do. They just know, okay, this is where I find all the information, but what's the next step? So me as the agent, I want the whole family to know what to do. And so I'm not just helping out that client, but I'm also helping out myself, because now I have another opportunity to go and see another member of that family and help them get protected as well. So that one lead is letting me see two other people, so that there's a primary and a secondary. So that way you get the primary and the secondary beneficiaries. When you're doing the application, the phone numbers are not required. So that's one thing that you're going to see on the application when you're doing it. It's not required, but it's required for me. I want to know that information, so that way I can help as many people as I possibly can. So Senior Life is not required. Senior Life doesn't require their phone number, but it's required for me because I want to help out the whole family. So, okay, so that's two other people that offered that. That's free. That's a free lead because of that one lead that I bought. Okay, so that's another source of it, getting their phone number and booking an appointment. So I book the appointments on Saturday. Same thing with, I call all of my leads on Saturday to book my appointments for the following week. I also call the beneficiaries on Saturday. I say, hey, this is Janice with Senior Life to help your mom and your dad get their funeral arrangements taken care of. You're the beneficiary for that program. I wanted to come sit down with you personally and go over this information. What's the best day for you to get that done? Monday or Tuesday of next week? And I book the appointment just like with any other lead. That way I can sit down with them, go over their information, go over their parents' information, letting them know what they got set up for themselves. But also while I'm in the home, I'm asking them, have they gotten anything else? Have they gotten anything set up for their own funeral arrangements? Because I let them know, yeah, you might have life insurance, but if you ever had to claim a life insurance policy before, if you ever had to go through that process, or if you ever had to actually pick someone's funeral arrangements out, you know firsthand, life insurance doesn't do a darn thing. They don't. They literally say it's going to take a couple of weeks to pay out. Unfortunately, you have to pay for everything today. And I know this firsthand because last year my grandpa passed away and I went down with my mom and she had to get everything done and picked out and paid for him because he had life insurance, which is great. But the funeral director said, literally, I've been in the game over 15 years. I know life insurance doesn't always pay out. And if they do, it's going to take a couple of weeks. This is my business. This is how I feed my family. Unfortunately, you have to pay for everything now just because of the fact that life insurance takes a couple of weeks to pay out. And I can't always know that it's going to pay out at all. So if you don't have the money today, which is fine, it's around $10,000, I can set you up on a monthly payment plan. And then when you get your life insurance paying you back, you can pay me back all in full if you want to. But so yeah, my mom literally had to fork out $10,000 out of her pocket to pay for everything. So I let the family know while I'm in the home, saying, hey, your parents got everything done and set up for you just because they don't want you to have to pull any money out of their pocket. You don't want to have to go down there and pick anything out. But think about them now and think about your own children. A lot of my clients that are beneficiaries are now, they're a lot younger. They're in their 50s or their 40s, and they're not thinking about their funeral arrangements. They got life insurance. They're still working. They're not worried about it. But I let them know the younger that you are, the cheaper it is. And God forbid something happened to you tomorrow, your family doesn't have to worry about it. So this way they get approved for a little bit more than what their parents got approved for, and they get the benefit of picking everything out just like their parents did. So yeah, there's 2 other people there that you can go and see. All right. And then let's take it a step further. We want to have more people for you to go see off of that one lead. So Legacy, the company that we partner with, they get them the casket, the vault, headstone, and urn, and have that negotiation team on their side. Legacy also offers 4 other family members, friends or family, whoever, on the Legacy program for free. So meaning they can sign somebody up right there on the spot and say, hey, now you have Legacy that for free. And Legacy is basically like a Sam's Club. This is how I explain it to my clients. Legacy is like a Sam's Club. You know, you can go to Sam's Club and get big bulky items for cheap prices, and you can have up to 4 family members on your Sam's Club card. That doesn't mean you're giving them money to go shop. It just means you're getting them in the door. It just means you're literally just getting them in the door to go shop. So Legacy is basically like the same thing. You can have up to 4 family members on your Legacy membership. So let's say, God forbid, there's an unexpected death in the family, and now the funeral director is coming to you to pay a $10,000 bill. You can call up Legacy and say, hey, my family member who is on my Legacy membership just passed away. This is the funeral home that I'm working with. These are the things that I want to pay cash for. Let's say they want to get a cremation. They're going to pay the $100 cash for that urn, have it be shipped out to whatever funeral home they want to work with. And then Legacy is also going to call up that funeral home and negotiate the cost down. So that's one thing they don't have to worry about if the client has life insurance or not. Legacy is still going to be on their behalf to negotiate the cost of everything. Because let's say they're trying to charge that family $6,000 for a cremation. We're going to come in and say, oh, no, let's negotiate and get that cost down. Because the way they do that is by talking to 3 local funeral homes within the area. Get the prices from everybody in town so we know what the prices should be. That way our clients, we know that they're not going to get ripped off or overcharged, because we can talk to that funeral director for them and negotiate the cost down and say, hey, it looks like our client here doesn't have very much money. They might not have a life insurance, but they got us, and we're going to help them get that cost down. So if you don't want to work with us, that's fine. We can take our business somewhere else. So it's just having that backing to take the emotion out of it and just looking at the numbers. And so that way there's somebody else on your family's team. So that's what I tell them. Legacy is there to not just help you out, but to help 4 other members of your family. So God forbid there's an unexpected death in the family, it's going to fall on you to pay for. Now you don't have to worry about coming up with $10,000 to $15,000. We can negotiate that down to around 4 or 6. That's which is better for you, coming up with $4,000 or $6,000 or 10 to 15. And they always say, of course, only 4 to 6. So that way you have 4 other people to go see. I always get their name and their phone number, and I tell them just same thing I just told them with the beneficiaries. I'm going to call them on Saturday and book an appointment to come sit down with them personally to go let them know that this is something that you got set up for them. It has no cost to them, but at least I want to sit down with them and then go over the information. That way they know you got this set up for them, and they can make the educated decision on whether or not they want to have a life insurance to back that coverage. That way their family is really protected, and they don't have to worry about coming up with any money at all. So just let them know, hey, I want to sit down with you and go over this information. 4 other people, there's 4 other leads for free to help you get more money in your pocket and also help out more members of their family. Okay. Now, if you're a field agent, here's another way to make more income, to do the T system. The T system is where you knock on the person to the right, to the left, and across the street of the house that you're going to see. Now, that's kind of intimidating at first, I know, just because you're just knocking on a random person's door, but trust me, it works. These people, most of the time they're lonely, they want to talk to somebody, and they're always nosy because they've lived in that neighborhood their whole entire life, and they want to know who's knocking on their neighbor's door. So why not go introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm Janice. I'm over here helping your neighbor getting their funeral arrangements taken care of. They requested me to come out. Has anybody come out to see you yet? No? Have you gotten your funeral arrangements done? Okay, great. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm your state representative. I want to come out and help you get this set up. Let's book a time for me to come out. Is later on this afternoon available, or would you like me to come back tomorrow? So it's just booking that appointment right there on the spot. And trust me, this works. Literally last week, I actually went to the wrong house. It was so dark, I couldn't see the numbers on the houses. And I went to the wrong house. I went to the one across the street instead of my lead, and knocked on their door. I'm like, hey, is this so-and-so? And they're like, no, that's over there. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to knock on your door. I couldn't see the numbers on the house. They're your neighbors over here just wanted me to come over and get their funeral arrangements taken care of for them. I'm your state representative. Has anybody come by to see you yet? They're like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, great. Let me come in. Obviously, I don't have time right now. I got to go across the street, but I'll come back into your area tomorrow. When's a better time to stop by and help you get this done? Booked the appointment, went the next day, made the sale. It's that easy, but you've got to be able to step out of your comfort zone to go and do that, because that's what sales is about, right? Stepping out of your comfort zone to help as many people as you possibly can. You can't help somebody out if you don't take that step, okay? So one other thing we help out with is door hangers. So let's say the client wasn't home. They couldn't answer the door because they weren't home, but you at least went and seen them. Door hangers are the things that Legacy provides, Senior Life provides you for free. It's another advertising and marketing thing that they provide you with, that you can hang on that neighbor's door if they're not home, that you can leave your card and leave a little flyer saying who you were and why you were there. So I'll show you how to do that real fast. I want to get into, once you get contracted, you can actually get your own website. It's called the Agent Portal, and it's under seniorlifeagents.com. And how you log into that is the 6-digit agent ID number that they give you when you get joined. And then the password is the last 4 of your social. So this is where you're actually going to get your leads. When you order them, they're going to be in your agent portal. And this is where you get your commission statements. It's going to have everything that you're going to need. But I want to show you real fast on how to actually order these materials that I'm talking about. So over here on the left is your agent store. Okay, so this is where the Senior Life actually provides everything that you're going to need for you. This is where you order your business cards, your ID badge. So if you're in the field, obviously get those things, your business cards, your ID badge, your apparel, like your shirts, because you want to represent Senior Life. You want them to know who you are as soon as you knock on that door, because that way they can see that you're official, you're representing Senior Life. So the marketing materials is where I'm talking about here, the door hangers. So you go here to the bottom, marketing materials, and it says right here, Legacy Assurance Door Hanger. So it has a nice little description of what Legacy is. And then on the back there, instead of writing your personal phone number and stuff like that, I think it's a little bit more professional that just tape your business card to the back. That's what I do. And that way they can actually see your number, know who you are, and they can see how you're helping them. So they can give you a call back. And that way they have your business card on hand. But that's basically it, Jib. This is just a quick orientation about what Senior Life is, how to order your materials. Like I said, these are all the website you get for free, and you can order your materials. Like you see here, all of this stuff is for free. Like that's one thing I really love about Senior Life is they want you to make money. They don't want you to spend money on the things that you need for when you go out in the field. You're going to need this Senior Life folder. You're going to need the Legacy Senior Life brochure. You're going to need the Legacy bifold, the delivery notice, the door hanger, all these materials that you're going to need to go help the client out. It's all free. Like the delivery notice, that's about it. And then you're going to pay for shipping. But we want you to know that you don't have to pay for much. So this is something that everything is very easy and to do. Okay, so last thing I wanted to go over. So get a pen and paper and write down the meeting that we are going to have in January. The January meeting is our quarterly meeting. So first starting out at the beginning of the year, we have quarterly meetings. So that way you can plan ahead, put it on your calendar, January 15th. And these meetings are so very, very important, because the reason is they want everybody in Senior Life to get to know each other, not just see these people on Zoom, not just talk to them over the phone, but have this environment to where you can actually see and meet the people that you're talking to and hear their voices. But also it's about training as well. They do a lot of training at these meetings, and also they give you an encouragement and show you that it can be done. So one thing I really love about these meetings is they give an award ceremony as well. So they want to congratulate you and encourage you on do this business and show you that you can really make a lot of money here. So like the last quarterly meeting they brought everybody on stage. The first group of people they brought on stage was the people that made over $150,000 a year. And that's very easy to do, just working a couple leads a week. But so they wanted to show everybody that, hey, it's doable. So they brought about 20 different people on stage, gave them nice, beautiful rings to congratulate them. Everybody made $150,000 a year. Okay, great. The next group came on. It was $250,000 a year. And I think there was around 10 people, the $250,000 a year. And then the next group was $500,000 a year. I think there was only 2 people for that. And then the next group was $1 million a year. And there was 1 person for that. But they're just wanting to show you that, yeah, this is a business that you can make really good money in if this is a career you want to actually put your time and energy into. And so that's what we recommend doing, because that way you actually can provide for your family, accomplish all your goals and dreams that you want to do, and show you that you're helping people along the way. So why not be in a business to where you're not just helping yourself out, but helping people get the things that they need to have done. Okay. So one thing I do love about Senior Life is, like I said, the training. And the reason why the training is so important, because they tell about what Senior Life is that they're doing. So not just what the training is that you should be doing, but what Senior Life is as a company that they are trying to accomplish. So one thing that Senior Life is working on right now that they're going to be announcing at the home meeting is the new way that they're going to be doing leads. And one thing that they're advertising right now is when you can go take a video of it, is free leads. They're going to be doing free leads next year, and they want to talk about that and what that means and how they can help the agents out, because this is an agent business. Senior Life was actually created by a life insurance agent. He was working for another company. He didn't like that company, that way that was run, so he created his own company, because he's like, hey, I know I could do this better. And so this is a company run by agents for agents. And so every time a meeting comes around, they're always trying to build the company better and better. So that way you can actually make good money. Okay. So like I said, if you want more information about Senior Life, I know this is a very quick meeting, but tomorrow at 1 o'clock, there's going to be much more details about Senior Life. So does anybody have any questions before we jump off the call here? No? Okay. Let me check the chat one more time. Nope. Okay. Well, cool. I'm going to hop off the call. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Those door knockers, it says how many come in the pack before? Do you have an idea?
You're breaking up pretty bad, but I think you said how many come in a pack. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it's about 20, but I'm not positive. Like I said, you can order as many packs as you want.
Okay.
For free, you're just paying for shipping. So yeah, I would highly recommend getting everything that you're going to need for the door hangers. And like I said, the marketing materials. Order as much as you want. It's all free. You're just going to pay for shipping. So there's no limit on how many you can order. So like I said, and then if you're doing telesales, obviously if you're doing door knocking and field sales, you're going to need everything. You're going to need the legacy bifold. You're going to need the door hanger. You're going to need the folder, the senior care brochure. But if you're just doing telesales, I'd highly recommend at least ordering the senior care brochure, the envelope. I think the good one is this. I think it's the 9 to 12 or the 10 to 15. I'm not sure what size is better, but that way you can actually fit the information in there. And then also put your business card in there, because that way, oh, and the letterhead, that's what I wanted to do. The letterhead down at the bottom. That way you can print something out, write on it, give them your own personal information and say, hey, here's the senior care brochure I was telling you about. Because in this flyer, it actually talks about going into detail about your funeral arrangements, what your family needs to know about your funeral arrangements. Do you want to have an open or closed casket viewing? Do you want to have a service at the funeral home, at the church, or whatever? And then also in the back, there's a spot for their will and testament if they haven't gotten their will done yet. There's a whole checklist of documents the family's going to need to have. So this is just a whole program to where everything is going to be done and prepared. So we're just wanting to help them get that done. So order those materials. That way you can send it out. if you're doing telesales, they can actually have your business card. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. So does anybody else have any other things that they want to talk about or go over before we end this call? No? Okay. Well, I'm going to give you my personal information. If you want to contact me personally, go right ahead. My number is 814-283-5337. Again, my name is Janice. I'm the hiring and training manager here in Pennsylvania. If you want to talk to Sharnetta personally, you can call her direct line is 205-799-2017. Again, my phone number is 814-283-5337. And I'm the hiring and training manager out of Pennsylvania. So if anybody has any other questions, unmute your line. If not, jump on the training call tomorrow at 1 o'clock just to go over more about what Senior Life is. That way you can get more information about it.
I just want to say awesome job, Janice. You gave a lot of detail, a lot of clarity, a lot of great examples and demonstrations with how you're being so successful with Senior Life. Just keep doing everything that you do, and I appreciate everything that you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. All right, well, I think we can end the call, bro. And if you have any questions, give me a call or a text. Have a good night, guys.
Good night, Janice.
Thank you. You too.
Good night, Janice. Thank you.
Thank you. No problem, Roxy. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night, Harry.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.